Hi lovely people, welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm gonna share with you another story time slash testimony. From the title, as you guys can see, I'm gonna talk about the time where I was homeless. Yeah, so stay tuned, grab yourself a drink, like, comment and subscribe, and thank you so much to all my new subscribers. You guys are A1. Cool, so let's get straight into the video. If you haven't seen my two previous story times, so my witchcraft story and also my university experience, watch those because it probably make a lot more, this video will make a lot more sense because I'm just kind of like following on the journey. So when I went to uni, I finished my first year. Obviously your first year you stay on campus, second year you need to exit and find yourself a nice little place to rest your head, you know, with all of the books you need to be consuming your head with. I didn't get a loan. I wasn't eligible. Is that the word? Eligible? Oh my god, I think that's the word. So second year of uni, I managed to find a cute little room. It was only two of us actually. It was the landlord, but she was young, and me. So it was really nice. Like the flat was really nice. It was really clean. I really loved it, and everything started off really good. I could pay my rent. I was going to uni. By second year, you know, the workload starts coming in, because you know when you're at uni, your first year, people generally don't take it seriously, so you kind of like mess about. Obviously I didn't get to mess about. If you watch my previous video, you'll know that I was balancing ministry and uni work. Yeah, so second year gets a little bit more tough. You need to actually study and you need to actually do your work. So things by then started to get a little bit difficult anyway. Before that, I started to fall behind with my payments at uni, and it got to the point where I couldn't stay in that place anymore. And the church that my parents were going to in London, I remember I used to literally like sleep in the church, because they would have like night vigils, so I would literally just like sleep in the church, and yeah, it got really bad. Then I used to go to a church in London, and I was really close with my bishop, and obviously the members of the church, like all the aunties and some of the pastors, and it got to the I don't know why I'm like so weird talking about this. Oh my god. Yeah, so anyway, I remember I was talking to Bishop and I was like telling him the situation, and he found, actually that was before that. No, okay, so before that happened, one of my aunties lived in London and I ended up having to stay with her. But where she lived and where my uni was, it was a trek. Like it was so long, guys. And I remember there'll be some times where I would literally be like walking to uni like with my suitcase, like just carrying like my suitcase around. This is before I sorted out my living situation. So I would literally like leave church in the morning, go to uni, but be carrying my suitcase. I remember people used to be asking me like, why are you always carrying your suitcase around? And I'll just make some like dumb excuse or something like that. Like it was so embarrassing. And when I would literally like trek all the way to my auntie's, like I remember there was a night where I was literally like knocking, nobody was answering. I was tired, the journey was long, I had a long day at uni, and guys, like I literally felt like I was going through a dry, like walking through like a dry land. Like everything was just like crashing down. Uni was falling apart. I was just going through like my own kind of issues, dealing with other people's issues, like I spoke about in my other video. I was falling behind on my work, I was falling behind on my payments, to the point where the uni was trying to say that they like took me off their system or something like that, because I was just like not making the payments anymore or whatever. And anyway, so when I eventually spoke to my bishop, there was a lady who was like, she would take me in, like it was cool, it was fine. And I was just like, oh, thank God, thank the Lord Jesus, because these treks that I'm doing, carrying my suitcase everywhere, like it was literally getting too much. Like, so I ended up moving in with her and her family, and you know, it was really good. So I was living in Streatham at the time, and so I used to go from like Streatham to uni, and yeah, then it got to the point where I couldn't go to uni anymore, like because I just couldn't make the payments. Like I just couldn't afford to go to uni. Yeah, I couldn't afford to make the payments, so I had to stop, I had to quit. And I remember just sitting in my room. Sorry, I've got something in my face, guys, you can tell I'm uncomfortable in it. So I remember just sitting in my room when I was living in that house, and literally I was just talking to God, and I was just like, I need to do something. Like, I'm the kind of person where I'm proactive, like, you know, I've always wanted to have my own business, you know, I'm focused, I'm dedicated, you know, I'm a fighter, like I'm a warrior, I'm a fighter. So yeah, I was just sitting down and I was just like, what can I do? And God was literally like, what's in your hand? You know, what is the seed that is in your hand? Like, what can you do? And at that time I could do hair, like that's what I like to do, you know. I was a beautician at heart, really. I'm a creative person, so I was like, I can do hair. And he was like, okay, cool, so you know, let's do this. And so I literally started, I went on oh, what's that, I can't remember, I'll put the name. And I literally, and at that time they used to do like 250 cards for free, and I literally just like came up with this name and just like did like a little business card and just started printing them out. And then I just started picking up clients in London, and I just started like doing hair. I literally went from going to uni, being excited, like I'd got into Brunel, getting into my first choice, you know, the uni that I wanted to go to. My first year was literally like nothing like I imagined. I just got thrown into ministry, carrying you know, everyone's burdens and demons. Second year, struggling with my work, struggling financially. Thank God, like my mum used to come to my uni like nearly every other weekend. I kind of hated the fact that I just couldn't make friends. Like, it used to bother me, like I just didn't understand why I just couldn't have that uni life that everybody was always raving on about and just loving, and I just didn't get to have that. Like, I hated the fact that I just could not just make friends like everybody else did. And then from that, moving into this really cute place, and then losing it, not being able to afford it, falling behind in my lessons, not having anywhere to go, you know. I literally had this unstableness for like 2 years, and literally like having this instability and uncertainty. When I used to do hair, guys, like I used to just travel everywhere. Like, I wasn't driving by the time, so everywhere was like public transport. Like, I remember one time I had to go somewhere and I had to like cross the ferry just to do hair. I'm getting on the boats and I'm crossing the water just to do hair, and I would literally finish late. And you know, I was making good money still, but you know, it was literally like, it was so hard. Like, it was probably one of the hardest 2 years before I moved out. I remember when money started drying up, like, thank God the people that I had around me, like the people that I made friends with from the fellowship, like they honestly, like, they looked after me so well. Like literally, like I couldn't even imagine like the kindness. Like they literally used to like bring shopping for me, like food. And like honestly, like one thing that I could definitely say is like, even though I didn't have the money, or like even though I struggled financially, like even though I struggled with my housing, but God never let me go hungry. Like for some reason, every time I wanted food was there. Like I remember back then I was literally like, no, like God will never let you go hungry. Like I was an advocate for this, because I had experienced this. Like I was a witness of that. Like honestly, like I was just amazed. But yeah, it's just like a little short testimony and like short story time of my uni experience. And voila, here I am in front of the camera talking to y'all. I'm not in that position anymore. I didn't complete my uni, but you can have your own plans, but literally like God has the final say. Many other plans in the mind of man, but it's the purpose of the Lord that will stand. But I thank God for where we are today. Thank you for listening. I hope that you enjoy my content, and I will see you in my next video. Like, comment and subscribe.